can see over back where the First Amendment sign actually is, there's not a whole lot of foot traffic activity. Not really a whole lot of space for people. I mean, there's no one over there. Like, people are walking this way and that way. And then we'll talk about how the rangers are selectively enforcing things. It's like they don't want us here along the sidewalk, but don't see them now. Apparently for these kinds of performers, they're okay over here. But art and other First Amendment stuff is not allowed over here. I don't really get how they can enforce one thing.
There it is, Lucas's part. That was like 5 years of my life.
Not another.
Man, I could have gone to medical school. All right, now ladies and gentlemen, look, in a moment, we're going to find out what's inside of that little green
But as you can see, there's plenty of room for people to walk by, even with this little police car in the way. There's plenty of room for people to walk by. But the only actual First Amendment sign now over here is over here by where the magician is. And several artists and magic people all switch out and share that spot. But, you know, that's not really leaving a whole lot of ample First Amendment room for people to speak. And again, the walkway is wide, super wide, and it's funny you that want to talk about artists or buskers being set up in the walkway, but this sign here that's telling you can't have amps is okay to be way out in the walkway, exactly where buskers would be. This sign over here, or these signs over here, are also way out in the walkway. As I was saying, these signs are way out in the walkway. Most buskers would not take over the space of one of these squares. Well, if you take two of these squares, that is more than enough room for a fire truck to drive through here. So if buskers took that square, and buskers took that square over there, these middle squares would still be plenty of room for buskers, artists, and other First Amendment activities to make their way through. Yet, as seen in the video earlier, rangers are telling people that they can't be here or they can't be there because of space constraints. They've put First Amendment signs in areas that are actually far from the foot traffic. This is one of the most heavy foot trafficked areas in the whole Balboa Park. The next most heavy foot traffic area is up on those stairs up there, which is where they said we couldn't be. They also said only 1 10 by 10 per sign. And there's only 2 signs over here, yet they're allowing 4 or 5 10 by 10s right here. They're also, it's very selective with how they're enforcing everything. Balboa Park has always been very selective. They don't have an actual code on this. They're actually stepping over the code that was written recently. And so you get what you have here. And now they've basically just started pushing all the buskers and artists to little tiny areas. Although you can see how much people love it. Like, people are over engaging with everything. Like, everybody's getting engagement. So I don't understand why they think they need to constrain people's rights. Like, even this guy, he's getting engagement. So, yeah, I don't really get it. I don't get what the problem is up here. They can't even drive a fire truck through because, hey, we have stairs here. And then there's really nowhere for a fire truck to go. So their excuse of it being in the way, or that this impeding traffic, is malarkey. Because the only way it's impeding traffic is it's drawing them in, making them actually see what's going on. Now, I'm going to come over here and show you one of the actual First Amendment zones. Now, he actually has a decent crowd. Balloon artists are very loved. But as you can see, there's not a whole lot of foot traffic leading over to him. So people have to see him from afar just so that he can be seen and get a crowd like that. And I've seen balloon artists have big, huge circle crowds with people waiting in line to get art. But, you know, way over here, you might not notice him as you're looking at all the other things in the park. It's just ridiculous. This is not how First Amendment rights should be treated. And it's exact same thing that they did with the vendors. They pushed everyone into a spot and then they said, oh, look, these people are a nuisance. That is what's going on. And it's interesting because after I told them that they're headed towards a lawsuit, that is when they started these new enforcement laws and saying that all these rules are happening. Though no one's shown me a code. All I've heard is these are the rules that my boss are telling me to follow. That's what the rangers keep saying. Alright, just want to catch the foot traffic down here, just to show what it's like once it actually gets busy down here. As you can see, most of the people, most of the foot traffic is walking along El Prado, which is exactly where the buskers, artists, and anybody else with First Amendment activities would want to be. They would want to be where they have the best options for crowd. That area where all those people are is that space. Let's turn around and look up this way. There are a few people here. It does look pretty decent as far as like the crowds and stuff. But if we compare, the crowds are way, way bigger this way than they are this way. It's like the crowds actually kind of start meandering in over there and then walking down that way. Some of them make their way back, but usually they come in and out over there, especially with all the parking taken and people having to come down from the zoo. And then the crowds go down the Prado. This is why it's imperative that buskers and artists and other First Amendment people are allowed along El Prado and not pushed out of this space. Again, they're talking about buskers and artists taking up space, but you just saw people having to walk around these signs. People have to walk around those signs over there. Looks like more people have set up. It shows how unrealistic and unfair these zoning ideas are. It doesn't work. We've been here since early this morning, since like at least 8, 9, and I've only sold 3 paintings all day. 3. I normally sell way more than that. I'm not doing that great. And that's because of the location. When I'm down there, I can easily make $100 in a couple hours. Up here, if I'm lucky, well, I haven't even pulled $100 yet today. And like I said, I've been here several hours. Since 8 o'clock this morning. Dealt with the rangers for an hour or two, and then most of the time, you know, I haven't been getting a lot of engagement because, again, this is not the best spot for that engagement. It's pretty obvious. You can see what they're trying to do. They're basically trying to push everyone into one area so that they can say that it's an issue and that it's a problem and that it looks bad and there's got to be regulations on it. And that's what they're doing. You can see it plain as day because they're literally doing to the buskers the exact same thing that they did to the vendors. Squish them all in one spot, and it looks way worse than what it actually is.
So sure about this gig? Victory for Ukraine.
I just don't see her being as smart as him. I mean, she might be back this way, bro.
For Ukraine. Victory for Ukraine.
Victory for Ukraine.
Justice for Ukraine.
Justice for Ukraine.
Save Ukrainian children.
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 Close the skies, not your eyes.
Close the sky, not your eyes.
Close the skies, not your eyes.
Close the sky, not your eyes.
Close the skies, not your eyes.
Close the sky, not your eyes.
Defend Ukraine, defend democracy.
Defend Ukraine, defend democracy.
Defend Ukraine, defend democracy.
So I just counted all the buskers. This guy right here is number 26 in the park. This guy up here is 27 with the... Oh, this person isn't even an artist. They're selling fucking toys. They're not even... Oh, okay, never mind. They're crocheted things. So this 27.
put, you know, so I'm gonna just re-express to you what you're doing in violation. 2 minutes with it. So right now, I'm gonna have to actually. You're more than welcome. I can write the code down for you if you want.
Please write the code down for me. If you're issuing me a warning, please issue that. Anything that you need, please.
Okay, I'm verbally telling you. I'm not issuing you this.
Okay, well, luckily we have somebody filming.
Okay, that's fine.
I just want you to be aware that this is all considered personal.
Okay, so.
Okay, so what about the people sitting down already?
People what now?
People who are sitting down.
Okay, they're not asking for a donation. They're not exerting their First Amendment rights. We have specific areas for each one. So these people are parties. You're putting on a show, right?
I'm not looking.
You're putting on a show. I mean, obviously, I'm looking at what you're saying and what you're doing. You're putting on a show.
Yes, but that's part of the First Amendment.
Okay, so I'm not saying that you can't do it. You're wrong. There's certain areas that you have to be in. This is not one of them.
Which areas for busing?
Okay, if you get a bus right.
Okay. Which area?
Right behind this pit right here, you're walking to go there. That area is not suitable. I'll find another area.
Now, was it mapped out?
I'm telling you right now. Yep.
Okay. I just want to know.
So time, place, and manner. That's what we do as rangers. And I'm not going to answer any questions right now.
Can I ask
you
why
need any more questions?
Can you answer why you can't do it?
Okay, so what question?
Question as to why you have no map, no set area.
Once again, time, place, and manner. That's at the discretion of the park ranger. Okay, this is a monumental area. If you're taking pictures, I'm not going to go back and forth. I'm just going to cut it off there. But all I need you to do is reply. Give me the code. Then whatever, look it up. 6301
I have a couple other questions. Actually, you need those? Here.
I don't want to argue.
No. I have other questions that don't adhere to me personally here. I have other questions for other people that are violating so-called law.
Okay, so let's just keep it between you and me. I don't want to wander off and talk about other things. We're talking about this right here.
If I'm not allowed to do something under the First Amendment, why would that allow somebody else to be under a different code under the First Amendment?
All these, if I can catch you out there, you can see all the First Amendment members are all in compliance. You're the only one that's not. If you look around, I talked to this individual already. Entertainer.
Buskers.
You're the busker. You're the only busker entertainer that's here. So I'm asking you simply to go to all the other buskers or entertainers. That's it. I mean, I'm asking you very politely.
No, and I'm just trying to understand the law and trying to understand, maps and designations and stuff like that to where it's at, because there has been a lot of. There's one ranger that would tell me I can go here. There's one ranger that tells me go here. I'm tired of being a ping pong ball.
Okay, I don't believe it.
And while I understand the monumental area, the other thing I'm wondering is there's a monumental area where vendors, wouldn't this all technically be a monumental area? What if it would be a monumental area that people can't, sit on, why are these people allowed to sit on it? Is it simply because they have a tip bucket? If I had something that was blank and didn't say anything.
See, now we're going back and forth.
Yeah, okay. Your laws
the area that you're in right now is people with their friends are enjoying it. You're a First Amendment entertainer, vendor, busker. You're out here to make a profit, right? So
doesn't matter. First Amendment rights.
Basically said because I said so.
Hey, any areas you need?
Sir. Sir.
He said he's not answering questions.
Sir, why are you deprivating rights under color of law?
How do you feel after being harassed by rangers?
No, I feel like they don't care. They don't care. They view me as a nuisance. They say that people are enjoying the day here, yet they enjoy me. People have been going through here and checking out stuff and seeing me and loving seeing me here, so I don't see why I'd be an issue or a problem.
Thank you for answering my question.
While I understand monumental area, the other thing I'm wondering is there's a monumental area where vendors, wouldn't this all technically be a monumental area? If it would be a monumental area that people can't, sit on, why are these people allowed to sit on it? Is it something because they have a tip bucket? Like if I had something that was blank and didn't say anything.
Now we're going back.
Yeah, but your laws can't be restrictive. Doesn't matter. First Amendment
He
rights.
basically said, I speak as I said so.
Hey,
Any areas you need?
sir, sir,
Thank you.
He said he's not answering questions.
sir, why are you deprivating rights under color of law? 3 rangers messing with a performer, deprivating rights under color of law. Everyone has a First Amendment right to be where they want to. Why won't you answer questions? What are you afraid of? You're violating rights. Yeah, I'm following you. Why can't you answer questions? I already caught you on footage violating rights and trying to tell somebody they can't be somewhere. Did you tell anyone else in the public that? I've already told your bosses to stop violating rights. You guys need to stop. All right, so the other day, the Rangers told Eric that he had to not be right where that planter is because this space here was the space for a fire truck. The Google says that fire trucks are 20 feet or need 20 feet of space. This, between the edge of the table and chairs to this white line or this black line that's right by the trash can, is exactly 26 feet. Eric was located here and they told him he was obstructing traffic for a fire truck to go through there. We measured this, and from fire lane to the middle is 16 feet. So from fire lane to the middle is 16 feet. You add 16 and 16, that is 32. If there were people all the way out to each lane, there would still be well over 20 feet for a fire truck to get through.
He was saying this morning he wanted to set up here, and Z said he couldn't be here.
He said no.
This is where Z said I had to be, and that I couldn't be on the other side of the planter or he'd give me a citation. So he said I had to be here. I could be here last Sunday, and now he's saying you can't be here. They said you could be there though?
Yeah.
Because he said you could be there
Because over here,
or over
the
here.
black lady, the jewelry selling, she left right now. He said here is okay, but not here.
It's a totally different rule from last
I
Sunday.
don't know what's the rules.
Yeah, they need to have rules that they can show you on a piece of paper. If they can't show you the rules on the piece of paper, they know just as much as you do, which means they don't know anything. So tell them, show me, or you don't know what you're talking about. You're making it up.
Yeah, I said show me what's your rule. Saturday, Friday different rules, Sunday different rules.
Yeah.
So yesterday I'm over there. All ranger come here, they don't tell me anything.
Yeah.
They said okay, you fine.
Yeah, I saw you over there yesterday too.
Yeah.
You know, I've got video of that.
4 or 5 times ranger
And today
come
they
here.
pushed y'all over here.
Yeah. He said no, you here. I said okay.
And he said you had
But how can anybody even see you right here? Nobody's going that way. Like 3 people.
15 feet. The red line, 15 feet this way.
15 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same
But last
thing here.
weekend they said you could be right
Same
on
thing
the
here.
fire lane.
Yeah. I don't know.
Looks like way more than 15 feet to me. Ah. All right, let's see. So as I was saying, it's 32 feet all the way across here. The signs up here are actually far out enough that...
24.
Oh, I thought it was 32.
yeah, it is 32. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
The signs up here are actually far out enough that what any busker or artist would actually be set up out, except for this one up here that seems to get away with super space way out in the middle of the road. But we'll show you that in a minute. Anyways, all the artists and buskers could easily fit in these squares that they're putting all these signs in. The signs are there. They're taking up the space. That would still be obstruction of traffic if this is obstruction of traffic. Or the statue that was on the video earlier. So how is those things obstruction of traffic, but not these advertisements? You can see that if from one square, the middle two squares equal around 20 feet, then these would be obstruction to a fire lane and a fire truck. So their standards are double standards, and they do not have a legal precedent to do what they keep doing. By the way, Ranger Z had said something. Actually, I didn't hear it. I wasn't here. Could you say again what you were talking about? How he was saying something different from the other Ranger yesterday? About up there where we're all set up?
Yeah. Well, yesterday we were all told that we can't be set up there on top of the stairs towards the fountain. But it seemed like they weren't going to give us a citation, just a warning. And then today we're told we can be there. So literally from day to day, it's just a different thing that they're telling us.
And I think we got that on video too. Or Kat did.
Yeah, there's nothing to back it up other than what they're saying. So they have no map to point to. They have no exact measurements of how wide a First Amendment zone is. Now they're even saying we can set up in a place that doesn't have a First Amendment placard for it. So clearly they're just making it up as they go, and they're changing the rules every day. Every ranger says something different. There's no consistency. Clearly they're all just bullshitting and just making it up as they go. Whatever they think at that current moment is what the rules are.
Speaking of space constraints, we're now in one of the first areas that they have set up as First Amendment zones. They're telling everybody that they can't be out in the walkway back here because it's obstructing traffic. But the rangers have not said anything to the person that has their face painting stuff well beyond the limits of everyone else. I'm not upset that they're there or doing that, whatever works for them. But I just find it interesting how selective this enforcement is. By the way, between the stands here, let me get out my information. Between the stands here, right where we're at, it is 32 feet between stand and stand. And there's plenty of room for people to walk. Once we get up top the stairs, between the stands up there, it is 24 feet between these stands. And then I wrote down earlier the space between the fountain and the trash cans, which I'll show you in a moment. That is 28 feet. And also, the rangers didn't say anything to anyone else that's sitting on this historical monument that no one should be standing on. Only to the gold band earlier.
Who had no more setup other than himself and just a stool.
By the way, I was told by another artist here that they won't even let plein air artists set up along El Prado to paint what they see, which is the whole point of plein air art. People that aren't even selling art, just trying to come out and paint what they see, and they're violating their rights too. But yeah, from this trash can to the fountain, it's 27 feet, 28 feet. How would it be impeding traffic being right up against the fountain? And also, do you see all the people sitting where the gold man was sitting? Yeah, it's interesting how selective the rangers enforcement is, and how it's only against people who are making money. And they equate that profit with giving them a reason or ability to enforce upon people who are making that profit.
They told the statue was a vendor.
Yeah, they told the statue who was performing he was a vendor because he accepts tips.
And that there's no difference between vendors and buskers.
Yeah, that there's no difference between vendors and buskers. They're the exact same thing. The thing is, in the actual city code, which I could go find in a moment, but the city code actually states all First Amendment activities or First Amendment vendors, let's just go and give everybody that label. are exempt from the city code.
Right.
So for him to use that is violating actual city code, and that's enough to nail them on. All right, this has been my documentary of how rangers are affecting artists and buskers in Balboa Park. I think I'll end it with this lovely lady's voice.